Hi, my name is Brian Carruthers, and I've been in the marketing industry now for several years. I've made a lot of money in the marketing business, but never in my entire career have I ever seen a marketing platform poised for better, viral, explosive growth than what you just saw with the Blastoff network. And now we want to share with you how you can personally get engaged, how you can position yourself to profit before everybody across North America finds out about and signs up for Blastoff. And in order to do so, you need to partner up with a company called Prepaid Legal Services. And to share with you a little bit about Prepaid Legal, what we do, what we're bringing to the marketplace, and how you can also earn another source of income from Prepaid Legal, let me introduce to you all right now one of the top executives in the company, Mr. Darnell Self.
Well, thank you, Mr. Carruthers. I've never been this excited about Prepaid Legal as I am right now with the new connection with the Blastoff network. You know, when I started Prepaid Legal Services, I was 28 years old, and I was excited about the idea of walking away from the mall in which I was working 60 and 70 hours a week. But I was afraid that people would buy the messenger, this 28-year-old kid, instead of the message. But I didn't have to concern myself with that because Prepaid Legal is a publicly traded company, and we're still currently publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And we've been ranked by incredible business publications as one of the best companies in the country. Forbes magazine ranked us one of the fastest growing companies and one of the best 200 small companies. Fortune magazine, Money magazine ranked our stock over the last decade above Microsoft and HBO and Best Buy and Charles Schwab. Equities magazine, Business Week, the list goes on with all the credible sources. So again, it just meant a lot to me. It was refreshing that people didn't have to buy my word. Well, why are we growing so fast? Because we're filling a very significant void called the justice system. Now, we all know the real color of justice in America is not black or white, but green. It's been a country club most folks have never had membership to. You know, it's quite intimidating to call an attorney that's charging $200 or $300 an hour when we don't make, as an average person, $50 an hour at our job. And so Prepaid Legal, a 37-year-old rock-solid company, is leveling the legal playing field for the first time in North America. Let me tell you how we do that. Here's a quick snapshot. Now, of course, when you take advantage of this legal plan, you're going to get the full coverage within those documents. But imagine, if you will, you are my attorney today. And instead of working out an hourly rate, you know, the $100 or $200 an hour, let's work out a monthly fee. How much would you charge me every month for these things I'll go over for you real briefly? Let's say that I could pick up the phone, I could call you for consultation on an unlimited number of matters. I could call you on a landlord-tenant issue. Perhaps I'm thinking about starting a new business, and I don't know whether to start an LLC and an LLP under an S Corp. I don't know the employment laws in the area, so perhaps I've been downsized, and I don't know whether my job should offer me a severance package. Or perhaps you're like me, well, I've been bullied by big companies before, and I needed to have an attorney write a letter or make a phone call for me. But I would never do that at $200 an hour for an attorney. I'll never forget, I had this one company saying they were going to send my name to a collection agency for $92. Now, of course, I would not call a $200 an hour attorney for a $92 problem. But the attorneys wrote a letter for me, and it was called a cease and desist letter. It says something like, you must cease and desist all contact with our client pursuant to the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. Now, I would have never known that, but I wouldn't have known to write that either myself. But Prepaid Legal knew to write that, and that company never bothered me again, but it was the power of an attorney writing a letter versus Darnell writing that same letter. So I want you to write letters and make phone calls for me. I want you to review my contracts. They say the bold print give it, but the fine print taketh away. So review my contracts before I sign anything. I want you to prepare a last will and testament. We know that 7 out of 10 Americans don't own a last will and testament. Well, Prepaid Legal has taken away the #1 excuse, the financial excuse, because we know it costs over $500 to have an attorney draw a will up for us. Well, we give you one just for trying out our service. Even assistance in moving traffic violations. I received a speeding ticket on the way to my mother's house on Christmas Day. She lives out of state. Okay, but I didn't have to go back to represent myself. I received assistance from Prepaid Legal. My points were dropped. My fine was dropped. I only had to pay a $35 court cost. It would have cost me more than $35 in gas money to drive to my mother's residence or where she lives. But again, it's important to understand that even attorneys have our services. So if you know an attorney or you are an attorney, well, every attorney doesn't know every area of law like every doctor doesn't know every area of medicine. We have trial defense, coverage, we have IRS coverage, and anything that falls outside of the 100% coverage, you get your discount on. Even 24-hour protection in emergency situations. If you have a pre-existing condition, we even give you a discount on that. So we're able to do this and go out, and this is the reason why thousands of people are signing up a month for the prepaid legal plan. It's because, of course, if you were my attorney, you would charge me thousands of dollars to do this. And that'd be a great value, but it wouldn't be a great budget. And so prepaid legal made this less than $1 a day. We're talking about 87 cents a day, about $26 a month or less in some areas for these services that I just went over, and more. So you think about this. We call it a cup of coffee, a Coke, and a smile. You have access to law firms across North America. Now, if that wasn't great, just in itself, we've added on an additional service called an identity theft shield. We know identity theft is one of the fastest growing crimes, and folks don't know what to do. Some folks are 9 years old. We have children that are 9 years old and won't know that they're a victim until they're 19 years old. And so prepaid legal, along with the company called Crow, to the rescue. What we do is give you access to your credit report so you can see what's on there. Now, it'd be great if this was just about finances, but we know identity theft is affecting every area of our lives. We know the Social Security identity theft. I did a presentation at the Pentagon. There was a captain there who lost his security clearance because his brother-in-law got a job in his name to avoid child support. There's motor vehicle identity theft, that one computer stolen out of the motor vehicle department, 8,000 to 9,000 identities in that one computer. And so now we're being pulled over for a routine traffic stop, but there's a bench warrant out for our arrest for something we didn't do. There's medical fraud, someone going to the hospital with your medical information. So now when we go, we take our children there, we're being prescribed something that we're allergic to because someone has infected our medical records. So all these different areas of identity theft, prepaid legal does monitoring, proactive searches in your database so that when something happens, they can alert you and let you know right away what's going on. But not only alert you, because monitoring alone is not enough. Here's what makes us so different with the company Crow, the leading risk management company in the world. We go in with a limited power of attorney with you or for you to restore your identity for you. And this is powerful for an additional $9.95 a month. And so we're able to protect your family for about $35.95 a month. Again, about a bottled water a day, you have access to everything we went over. So now you understand why we're growing so fast, because you can't go anywhere else and get this. Typically in marketing, you got to convince someone that, hey, my vitamins are better than your vitamins. My long distance is better than your long distance. My cell phones are better than your cell phones. But the great thing about what we're doing right now is that there's nowhere else to go except us. And not only that, but more folks will hear about this than ever before because of our connection with the Blastoff network. And so to talk about how we're going to get paid, how this is going to be extremely lucrative for those who are looking for either one, additional income, or two, full-time income, so that you can support your financial future by building your own business, a free enterprise system here with prepaid legal services and Blastoff. I'm going to reintroduce you to one of the top executives in prepaid legal services, Mr. Brian Carruthers.